The project of completing the Yazoo Backwater Pumps is now being played out in federal court. A coalition of environmental advocates have filed a lawsuit in Washington, D.C. against the Trump administration's Environmental Protection Agency for possibly rushing through this, ignoring key laws. 12 News' Alex Love joins us now with their case and response from farmers. Alex?
So Delta natives and pump advocates are not surprised by this move. The lawsuit was filed by EarthJustice, an environmental advocacy law firm based out of San Francisco, on behalf of Audubon Mississippi, the Sierra Club, Healthy Golf, and American Rivers.
The Yazoo pumps have been sold by a lot of self-serving politicians and rich farmers.
Opposed to the last proposal back in 2008, environmental groups from Mississippi and around the nation have gathered over 50,000 signatures urging the Army Corps of Engineers and the EPA to deny another attempt at the backwater pumps.
You're going to change the hydrology of that area, so you're going to have more row crops planted that provide no use, and you're going to drain a lot of wetlands in the process.
The Yazoo Backwater area is a key linchpin to the Mississippi River Flyway. The Mississippi River Flyway supports 60% of North America's birds.
In a letter back in November, the EPA noted to the Army Corps of Engineers their supplemental environmental impact statement is not subject to the 2008 veto for a number of key features, changing its location, fuel source, and when it turns on. For the plaintiffs, this isn't good enough.
They moved it 8 miles up north to try and call it something different to get around the veto of the project. It's the same pump. It will discharge the same amount of water, and it will operate under the same parameters prohibited by the veto.
On maps pulled from the Vicksburg District, Army Corps of Engineers reports before they conducted a new study, the Sierra Club points to 68% of the South Delta still flooding in 2019, reaching 92.3 feet, even if the pumps were in place. Farmers fighting for the pumps explain the math goes deeper.
It keeps it out of the houses, off the roads, and out of the buildings, and would have saved 3 lives in 2019. Would have not flooded for 6 months, would have flooded for a month to 2 months.
With their lawsuit, Audubon and the Sierra Club included alternatives to flood control cheaper than the pumps, like elevating roads and properties, even pointing to current USDA options to buy back cropland.
Programs that pay farmers voluntarily to replant their crops to wetlands so that they can continue to make a good living off their land, but they actually get paid to take their farmland and restore it back to wetlands.
For people like Clay Adcock, there's more damage and less facts, leading to benefits in those cases.
There's 250,000 acres of just farmland in the Yazoo Backwater area with it flooded. If you put the average price on that, that's $1.5 billion. The cost-benefit ratio on that isn't worth a crap. And then your tax base is destroyed.
The current pump plan would cost roughly $400 to $500 million, some of which is already available to break ground when ready. The case has yet to be assigned to a judge, but will be heard in the D.C. Federal District Court.